What's the word? What's the word? Welcome to Trying to Match. Today we got something special for y'all. We got a story time. And junior year, 11th grade, went to the airport, went to Ecuador, high as hell. Let me tell you about how that happened. We also got this fat blunt right here, so this is Trying to Match, so get your lighter, get your blunt, or get ready. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully light your blunt at some point in the video. Today I want to talk to you guys about the time that I think I ruined edibles for myself. Not in a bad way, like I loved it. I was geeked, but I think because of that, edibles don't work for me no more. And I've tried a lot, I've tried 1,000 milligrams and I didn't feel it, but let's get to the story time. I don't know if y'all can see my face. I'm wearing this hat because I didn't really feel like doing my hair right now, but this is the Lionel hat, Lionel print cap. See, that's my little puppy right there. I'll put a picture so y'all can see him. He just got a haircut. He's actually right here, but I'm not gonna move the camera right now. So this is how I had 2000. I don't even know what year it was. 2015. I was in high school and we went to Ecuador, and so it all started. I'm gonna start with the night before. The night before, me and my boy Fritz were at my house, and my mom, of course, at that time I was, I don't know, maybe, I think I had just turned 18, but my mom still, of course she wasn't cool with me smoking. At that time she knew I smoked, but wasn't cool with it. And me and my boy Fritz, we were in my room, and I had got these edibles from my friend from back in the day, and they were just super potent, like for real, super potent. Me and him that night, we split one brownie in half just to see, what it would do. Man, that night I ended up getting geeked, man. My eyes turned mad red. My mom started crying, thinking that I was doing other drugs because she couldn't smell the weed on me. So she's like, "How are you this high?" I didn't want to snitch on myself, but I told her, like, it's an edible. That's stupid, but at the same time, like, I don't really want my mom thinking I'm over here popping pills and doing all this other, you know what I'm saying? So I told her that, and that didn't go by her. That didn't go smooth with her. And I also told myself that night that I wasn't gonna take them edibles the next day for the flight because they were too damn strong. But like the stoner I am, I woke up that morning and I took a whole edible, like a whole chocolate, probably like this big. After telling myself that last night was way too strong, but I did it anyways. And my mom, she had to drive me to my friend Sabina's house because my mom doesn't drive on the highway, and Sabina's parents would take us to the airport to meet up with our school to go to Ecuador. And so yes, this was a school trip, but so I'm not gonna name all the names of the people that took the edibles just in case they just don't want that knowledge out there. But the few people I have mentioned, I don't think they were mine. But let's see. So where are we? So my mom drives me to Sabina's house. I'm off this whole edible. By the time we get to Sabina's house, I just get so high. Like my mom starts to realize a little bit. I think that I'm just off of it. But I think she thinks that it's from last night, just because she knew that I did it last night. But she didn't know that I took a full one that morning. So I don't know exactly how much edibles I had in total. I forgot how much I had bought from her, but she gave me a lot. So, and they were all really potent. She said that she used not Sabina, the person who gave it to me. She said that she used dabs, bud, oil, and tincture to make these, and she was not lying. So I got to Sabina's house. I'm fried right now. So I'll say Sabina took one. I don't think she would care. So Sabina took her half. She was fried. It was lit, but it was all good, right? We get to the airport. So she only took half, and she was just blasted off that half. We get to the airport, and there's a few other friends. I'm not gonna say the names. When I got to Sabina's house, At that point, I don't know what was going through my mind, but I took another one. So I was too deep at this point. We get to the airport. Sabina had already took hers, and the other 4 people they took their edibles. One of the people that took the edibles wasn't even with our school. She was just a friend of someone that was at our school, and she was dropping her off. And that half edible really made her like nauseous, like it made her throw up, and she just had to go home. She was supposed to just chill a little bit because we ended up having to stay at the airport for a while, but she ended up just leaving because she was feeling bad. And the person that she brought also ended up feeling bad. So I was nervous, like, oh my God, what if someone tells the teachers, like, just, like, not even just snitching, like, what if they just are feeling that bad that they feel like they need to go to the hospital or something, and it all comes out that it's weed and that they got it from me. That's problems. That's problems. But luckily, everything worked out. Sabina was there helping out, and then me and 2 of the other people, we were just on like one of the chairs, like on the seat, the airport couches, just gone in a whole other place. And the teachers didn't notice because they were just doing their own. They were like trying to figure out what was wrong with the flight situation, because we were supposed to fly to Atlanta, to go from Atlanta to Ecuador, but that ended up being canceled. So the airport ended up flying us to Indianapolis for the night and for the hotel, for free. So then in the morning we would fly to Atlanta. So we get to, let me see. So we're at the point where the person that dropped off one of the people from my school, they went home. The person from my school that got sick, they ended up getting a little better, but it was difficult on them, which I didn't understand. I think it just had to be like an edible thing, because it was a strong edible at that, because the person, they smoke a lot, you feel me? So it's not like they just, you know what I mean? It was just the edible itself just didn't work with their stomach, you know what I mean? And that squeaky noise is my dog playing with his little squeaky bone. But let me see. So then so everybody else is just high now. Everything kind of cooled down. Nobody got in trouble. Nobody had to go to the hospital. We were just chilling, waiting for hours, waiting for this flight that never came. And then we ended up taking a later flight to Indianapolis. One of the funniest things, big part of the story that I was just about to miss, is that, so when we got to the airport, when I took my half with everybody else, and after that we still had 2.5. I still had 2.5 brownies left on me, on my person, and nobody else wanted to take anymore because it was just too strong. But for me, I had already taken 2.5 while they're on half, so I'm already 5 times higher than everybody else. So I'm good. So, and I'm about to go to Ecuador where I can't smoke, because I don't know nobody, so I don't want to just take anybody's, you know what I mean? But now that I'm an adult, I think I might actually just, you know what I mean? It's just an explorative thing, like go to some foreign countries and chill with the natives and shit, smoke what they got, you know what I mean? Because just because it's native, just because it's foreign to you don't mean that it's going to be laced to something. It could just be, you never know. You really never know until you try it. But, right, so the part that I'm getting at is that I ended up eating those 2.5 brownies. Why? Because I love weed and I wanted to be high. And I was hoping that I'd be high for the whole week that I was in Ecuador. And for a good amount of that time I was, which is crazy. But I ended up I was 5 brownies deep while everybody else was off half a brownie. I'm geeked. I'm fried. I'm good. For days, I'm good. I ended up being high for like 5 days straight. It was weird. It was like waking up to a blunt, going to sleep to a blunt. It was just blunts and blunts. But I wasn't smoking. I was in my school. And they didn't notice. They just thought I was tired, you know, because everybody was tired. Like, we ended up, when we got to Atlanta, we ended up having to stay in that airport for 6 hours. Man, I had this greasy ass burger, but it was so good, so good. It was like cheddar cheese and bacon and all types of beauty. I love food, but ended up going to sleep on the floor, like on the carpet, like you know, where everybody was at, for like, with my head on my backpack for like probably 3 out of those 6 hours, and the rest of that time I spent just walking around, hanging out with other people. And the other students could tell they knew I was high, but I mean, Not all of them, but like the people that I was cool with, I mean, shit. You see me, it's like, yo, what's good, bro? My eyes are like this. Like this blunt is the blunt for the video, but like before I record a video, if I have enough time, I tend to smoke a blunt before the video just so that, you feel me? Before I forget, let me put this on Do Not Disturb before I get a phone call or something during the video. Yeah, so we back. So we go to Ecuador as part of a Spanish trip for my school. It was actually one of the best experiences of my life in terms of what I learned. It was not the best time for me in my life just because I was dealing with family loss and just personal growth in the mind and stuff. But we ended up getting to. So one funny thing too is when we got to Indianapolis that night, one of my friends that took the edible, they had already dropped off their luggage to like go to Atlanta. They just brought their carry-on in their personal bag. No, they just brought their personal bag, and they were walking with their hand behind them as if they still had their luggage. Like that tripped me out. I'm like, bro, what you doing? You better get us out of trouble looking stupid. Like, but man, we ended up, once we got to Ecuador, we stayed in this nice hotel, and I think it was Quinto. That's the name. I think Quito. I don't know, something like that. I forgot the name of the town we were in, but it was really nice, really beautiful, like white stone walls hotel. It was really nice. It was like they had really nice breakfast. We ended up taking salsa classes there, which was cool because I already know how to dance salsa, so I just kind of showing my, doing my thing. I felt kind of confident. I knew I would have felt super nervous had I not known how to dance. It's a good blunt, by the way. I'm not sure exactly what's in this blunt, what kind of bud. Normally I'll tell you guys and show you a picture, but I got carried away. But so we're in Ecuador. It's real easy for me to pass as being as high as I am because everyone's tired, everyone's jet lagged, everyone's like, when we got to Ecuador, it was off of a red eye flight. Like I think we got there like 12 or 1 in the morning, so it's not a red light flight, but it was late, and red eye flight, my fault. And let's see what we do after that. We drove for like 8 or 10 hours up the mountains to like a co-op village, like a small village up there. It was beautiful, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, like just gorgeous. And the air quality was real thin because we were so high, but it was so clean, and just breathing felt like you really get to appreciate it. Like when you first get there, you're hard at breathing, it's difficult to breathe, but then once you get comfortable being there and you enjoy the freshness of that air and that climate, because it was hot, but it wasn't the same as the heat in anywhere I've been in America. Like it was just different. But one thing I did know too is that's the first time in my life I got sunburned. I've always gotten tans, but I've never gotten a sunburn. Both my shoulders were burnt because we were on the equator, the way the sun hits that part of the world, like of the earth, it was just beaming directly onto my shoulders. Even though I wasn't as hot as I have been in here in Houston or in Boston in the summer or in Florida or even in DR, Dominican Republic, if you don't know. That's where my family's from. Without going into the whole Ecuador trip, because there's a lot more than what I've explained, like a lot more. There was just times where everything that we did that was normal for everybody else, like I was high during that time, and then if you're a non-smoker, you might be thinking like, oh my God, why do you care about that? Why is that such a thing? It's like, you have to understand from someone in my position, like I don't just smoke because it's cool or because, like, I smoke because I genuinely enjoy the taste of the buzz that I smoke, as well as the feelings that I get. And I enjoy, like, where my mind goes. Like, I get real focused. I start thinking about my dreams and my goals and what I want to do with my life. And I start really planning and plotting. I don't use smoking as a way to, like, go away. I use smoking as a way to just, like, calm down all the energy that I can't generally control. Not saying that I don't have, like, self-control, but like if you're in your house and you're real energetic or something, and you just can't seem to turn that into productive energy, and you're just like playing video games or just playing around. That nothing. That's not. It's that nothing's wrong with that. But sometimes when I need to calm down, to level out, to figure out what I want to do next, I can decide to still be goofy, have fun, drink, go party, whatever. But I can also decide to chill, listen to an audiobook, watch something on YouTube, listen, like, learn something. You feel me? Work on a business idea or something. That's what this came about. Like, it started off with the love of my dog, but then it's like, it actually looks nice on a lot of different apparel, hats, shirts. I haven't sold any shirts or anything or created them yet, but like these are doing really well because it's apparent that I love my dog. And I made the hat simple because, well, I mean, he got a little white body, a little white face, and then he has a little black spot right here. But he also has a lot of little small black dots all over his body. But yeah, I love my dog. But basically all I'm saying is, like, being in Ecuador high, I was really just like really in control of myself. Like the real like, I would go on the hills at night and just look away, look at the, like, I'm at the top of the Andes Mountains, haven't smoked, but I'm still high, having a good time, eating good organic food. I'm living in this family's home. The mom was great. The kids were amazing. Everybody there was just a great, fun time. Like, I played soccer with the locals. Damn near passed out because that was like a second or third day. So my lungs were still kind of like not accumulated to the decrease in air density. So, but like, I really got to just focus on all the moments I was there. Like, it's easy to do something and just be so focused on what you're doing that you don't stop and enjoy where you are and the location of your being. Like, you're just here present somewhere. And I was just so present that whole time. Even when the high ended up going away on like the 5th day, I was still like very mellow, very like as if I was still taking CBD or something. You know what I mean? Like, it was something I just never experienced before. Because I've smoked, but being high like that without having the, like, not really focusing on going to go get high and just being there, being present in the moment, fully present in the moment, is just like, it almost felt like I was in a trance because I think there was so much THC in my body that, like, my receptors really just like found a real good balance. And I've been searching to get to that so long. I spent like $500 on equipment when I was back home trying to learn how to make tinctures. And I made tinctures, and they got other people really messed up, but it wasn't working for me. So I'm like, and I made it with Everclear, so it's not like you can just drink enough as much as you want of that to make it so that you can get the high. Because you do that, you're gonna get drunk or get alcohol poisoning. That's Everclear. It's bad. Like, I only used Everclear because my idea was to use as much bud as I could for as little Everclear as I could use, so that each dose would be really potent. And it did work, but for me, my tolerance with the THC, I guess, as an edible was so hard that, or THCA, I believe, because, or I think I remember hearing that once you decarboxylate the weed to make it active for the bud, it turns the THC to THCA, or vice versa. And then when you consume it, it turns into, once it goes into your liver, it turns into something called like THC delta 9 or something like that. And I think that's where I shocked the system. Like, that's where my body doesn't really, like, that's where my tolerance is really high, because I can smoke. Like, I'm high right now. I was high before I hit this blunt. You feel me? But yeah, that was Ecuador, man. That was my trip to Ecuador. But this story time wasn't about the trip to Ecuador. It was about just that experience that we had with all that. Like, everyone else, I think, was high probably for like the rest of the day, probably into the next 2 days after that half. But those 5 brownies, shit. If there was a sponsor out here that could send me some edibles that could really do it, like really do the trick, send me something, because I've tried. I've spent money. I'm done spending money on edibles to see if it's gonna work. At this point, I'm gonna need. I spend too much. I would have to spend so much money. Yeah, man, it's crazy. But I really wanna. On another note too, going like, you know, on a segue from that. As an adult, I'm always thinking like, man, what if I go to a country that I really enjoy, that I really, you know, where I really want to go to, where can I find some really good bud, like really good bud? Because even in DR, like where my family's from, whenever I go to visit next, which hopefully soon, I don't know where I'm gonna find some good bud. I've heard from my cousins out there that it's trash. So, but if you could find, I ain't even gonna say nothing crazy, but yeah. Man, I really want to travel. I think everybody should travel. Just even me moving from Boston to Houston has opened up my mind to a lot. Like, it is just simply just seeing new things and seeing how people live in other places. Your brain starts to work on a different wavelength, and you know, you have different thought vibrations, and you think about things differently. Like I've gotten a lot of peace and a lot of tranquility just being out here in the South. But I also miss Boston so much. But I definitely got to visit Boston soon. Smoke some pack with my boys. I got some trying to match videos with my boys. You know what I'm saying? See if I can link with some local artists or, you know, some local YouTubers and just see who's trying to match. On that note, guys, I'm gonna hit y'all later. I'm gonna see you guys next time. I'm gonna drop a video probably next week. Another video probably next week. And until then, keep smoking. But if you're smoking, make sure you're handling your business, do your thing. And please, smoke good. Because we all been there.